Alright, so before we delve into the nitty-gritty of Key West, it's important to understand the layout of the island. Let's take a look. Here's Key West Island, the island of Key West, and it runs from the east all the way to the west, and of course it runs north and south. Now the Marriott Beachside Resort where we stayed was over here, but that's about 3.5 miles from Old Town Key West, so we had to take a shuttle, which was provided by the hotel, to Old Town over here. There are plenty of places you can stay in Old Town if you'd rather walk and not have to worry about taking a shuttle, which I would do if we made another visit. Now, Old Town Key West over here on the west side of the island is where all the action is. Let's go in and take a closer look. Now, the north side of Old Town Key West is where you'll find many of the restaurants and bars. Over on the west, right over here, is where Mallory Square is, where you get to see some great sunsets. Duval Street runs right along this way. And a couple times we walk from the north to the south. As you go closer to the south, it gets much more quiet. In the south part of the old city, you'll find what's called Southernmost resorts, bars, everything's called Southernmost, and that's because it's in the southernmost part of the island. And right over here is where you see that southernmost buoy that everybody takes a picture of. Also in the southern area, you'll find the Hemingway Home and Museum and also the lighthouse. As we mentioned, Duval Street runs kind of in this direction. It's a straight road, about 1.3 miles from one end to the other. Up here, most of the restaurants and bars are located. Places like Sloppy Joe's and Irish Kevin's, they're all up here. But don't be afraid to check out the side streets, because often there's a lot of bars and restaurants on the side streets, and they often are less expensive. And one more thing to remember. If you plan to go to Sunset Key, to either stay at the cottages or have dinner or breakfast or lunch at the Latitude restaurant, the ferry to get there is just south of Mallory Square. But you can only take the ferry if you have a reservation at the restaurant or at the Sunset Key cottages, or if you're an owner. Of note, the Sunset Key cottages, which are beautiful, go for around $1,000 a night. But we went there for breakfast, and we'll do a video on that. So that's a quick look at how the island of Key West, Old Key West, is set up. We're going to show you now the top destinations to visit, and many of these will do dedicated videos about them, such as the Sunset Cruise, which was absolutely beautiful. So are you ready to go?
I'm ready!
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
So in no particular order, these are our top things to do when visiting Key West. Head to the northeast end of Front Street and take the Harbor Walk. This is located in the north section of Old Key West and runs along the harbor. Here you'll find several well-known restaurants and bars, such as the Conch Republic. And you may even see them bringing in the catch of the day. And further along you'll find an open square. This is where the Fury Sunset Cruises originate from. But keep on walking and head over to Schooners. Keep in mind that most of the bars and restaurants have live music even during the day. If this place doesn't say Key West, I'm not sure what does. After a refreshment and a bite to eat, head on over to Duval Street. On Duval Street, you'll find a ton of restaurants, bars, and shopping. Many of the well-known bars, such as Sloppy Joe's, are located near the corner of Green Street and Duval. Let's head inside and cool off. Now, if you didn't already know, Sloppy Joe's is Ernest Hemingway's old watering hole. And they have a tradition here at Sloppy Joe's. When you give the bartender a good tip, they ring the bell.
I'm gonna ring your bell.
After enjoying the music, we headed back outside.
I don't know. What's that? You too, thanks.
Now what we liked is that all the bars along Duval Street had live music during the afternoon. Now walk south down Duval Street. When you get to the end, make a right, and you'll find the southernmost point. This is a much more quieter area of town, but while you're down there, grab a drink at the Southernmost Point Bar, and also a great pizza, which is rated #1 at the Seaside Café at the Southernmost Mansion. If you're looking for something free to do, head back up to the north side of the city and check out the Key West Rum Distillery. Here they give free tours.
So in these fermentation tanks, we have water, sugar, yeast. That's all it takes to start making rum. Now the yeast is top fermenting, so it's working its way down, eating the sugars.
And after the tour, head over to their tasting room for free samples. Take the free ferry over to Sunset Key to dine at the Latitude's restaurant and see the sunset like you've never seen it before. Now you can only take the free ferry over to Sunset Key if you're staying there or if you have a reservation at the Latitude's restaurant. Dinner reservations are hard to come by and you have to make them months in advance. We were only able to get a reservation for breakfast. It was pricey, but we all enjoyed it. Mallory Square at sunset should be on everyone's list when they come to Key West. Not only will you see a gorgeous sunset, but you'll see street performers as well.
In the middle, everybody go wow! All right, this is where it gets good.
And my favorite, which should be on everyone's list, is taking a sunset cruise.
Live music, an open bar, and appetizers while sailing off into the sunset. What more could you ask for? We'll be doing dedicated videos on some of what you just saw in future uploads. Until next time, safe travels.
Tuned in, couldn't believe that it just